Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
A major automaker is telling the owners of hundreds of thousands of its vehicles to stop driving them. It's all because of a deadly problem you may have assumed was already solved. Tonight, we're hearing directly from Stellantis about why their efforts to fix a problem dating back to 2009 have come up short.
First, here's what you need to know about the stop driving alert issued today. It applies to 276,000 vehicles, so 250,000 vehicles whose airbags are becoming more dangerous the older they get. It's the same problem that led to the largest series of recalls in American history. Takata airbag inflators that can explode, sending shrapnel flying into the passenger area. There have been 3 new deaths now from these exploding Takata airbags over the past 7 months. So that's a total of 32 deaths now worldwide, now linked to this inflator issue.
Stellantis is warning you to stop driving these 4 models from years 2005 to 2010, the Dodge Magnum wagon, the Dodge Challenger, Dodge Charger, and Chrysler 300 sedan. All 4 models were part of the recall years ago, but getting people to show up for the repair has been a struggle. Jacqueline Francis is live with that part of the story for us. Jacqueline, good evening.
Yeah, I talked with the head of the recall campaign today, who says while the company is saddened by these deaths, they're also really frustrated, telling me that in some of these cases where people have died, the company had tried contacting the owner of the vehicle more than 149 times about the recall, which goes to show when these recalls are ignored, people can die.
We've heard numerous reports of people asking us not to call them again. We have call center agents that are hung up on routinely, people that block our number.
It's the urgent message you don't want to ignore. For 7 years, Stellantis has been telling affected drivers about the potentially deadly recall involving the airbags of select vehicles.
If you have a crash and the airbag deploys, pieces of the airbag can break apart and come flying through the airbag at the occupants of the vehicle.
Despite hundreds of letters, phone calls, and the occasional door knock to warn owners about the recall, there have been 3 new deaths from the exploding Takata airbags over the past 7 months.
Of these 2 vehicles where we have a confirmed fatality, one of them we attempted to talk to the person over 149 times.
Stellantis is now telling the drivers who haven't gotten the fix to stop driving immediately, offering to come to them free of charge to make the repair, willing to do just about anything to get people to take the recall seriously.
It's very frustrating. These are preventable injuries and preventable fatalities. We have been very diligent and worked very hard to get the word out to people. And most important for us is that we fix these cars.
Once you get the recall taken care of, you're off the list, meaning no more being bombarded with calls and notices. To learn more about the recall and how you can get your fix free today, go to our website, clickondetroit.com. Reporting live in Detroit, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
So many vehicles involved here. All right, Jacqueline.
Well, the city of Detroit has long faced an uphill battle to recruit and retain police officers. There's a proposed pay raise awaiting city council's approval, but not even that would make DPD wages competitive with officers in many other cities. And one of those cities is being quite bold in its attempt to poach officers from Detroit. Sean Lay is live with a look at what's on the table with this offer. Sean.
Listen to this, Kimberly. Just spoke with Detroit's police chief. He says his department in 2022, this year, has lost about an officer a day. The number right now, 290. This billboard not helping, raising eyebrows, raising some anger in Detroit. It's Indianapolis police telling Detroit police officers, hey, move to Indy, you'll make a lot more money. I asked the chief if he called Indy's chief to voice his displeasure.
I saw it. But, you know, I know that our officers are the best in the country, and I know that, you know, they get highly recruited in state and out of state.
Detroit Police Chief James White reacting just moments ago to Indianapolis police putting up this bold billboard in Detroit, looking to poach Detroit police officers with the lure of a $72,000 starting salary. If Detroit City Council approves pay raises for Detroit police, starting salary here would be $53,000.
I'm not surprised, a little bit disappointed that someone would pull something like that in our community, but I also know that our officers are highly recruited.
A police union leader went to city council urging the council to approve the pay raises or the department will continue to lose officers. Here's council president Mary Sheffield.
From my conversation with council members, everybody believes we are way overdue in supporting our DPD men and women, and so looking forward to unanimous support come next week, Tuesday.
I sent letters to chiefs across the country saying, please, don't hire our people, and they looked at me and they laughed.
Former Detroit Police Chief Ike McKinnon says Detroit can't compete with a $72,000 starting salary.
You can't compete with someone who's making or paying $70,000 to start. They're making as much as some of our command officers are.
Did you happen to call Indy by chance?
Well, we won't get into those kind of conversations.
Okay. The chief not wanting to talk about if he called Indianapolis police about their billboard here. Did you get that number, guys? 290 Detroit police officers leaving the department for other jobs this year alone. Indy not just targeting Detroit, being very aggressive, recruiting officers from Cincinnati, Chicago, and St. Louis. We're live tonight. Sean Lay, Local 4, back to you.
Okay, Sean, thanks.
South Lyon High School students were allowed back into the classrooms after the third unfounded threat in the last 10 days. School was evacuated this morning because of a threat to blow up the school. Students and teachers were moved to a safe zone until investigators could determine the building was safe. But earlier this week, the school was put on lockdown because a message threatening violence was found in a bathroom, and the same thing happened last week as well.
All right, well, fewer than 5 days remain until polls open in the 2022 midterm election at 7 a.m. Tuesday. And we're doing our best to help you prepare by taking a closer look at the issues and races at the top of the ticket.
So tonight, the close race for Attorney General Christy McDonald here to break it down for us. Christy?
Well, Devin and Kim, the AG's race is the closest on the ballot this November with unique circumstances. It puts incumbent Dana Nessel up against Republican Matt DePerno, a lawyer from the west side of the state. And while Nessel is a lightning rod for criticism, DePerno is under investigation for potential criminal charges. Both are vying to be the lawyer for the state of Michigan.
The ads are ugly, the race close. Democrat Dana Nessel, Attorney General for the last 4 years, is facing off against Republican Matt DePerno, an attorney from Kalamazoo who came into the national spotlight for trying to overturn the 2020 election results. Their positions couldn't be further apart, from abortion to Line 5.
Even if Prop 3 passes, we're going to need an Attorney General that's aggressive and strong in defending Proposition 3. My opponent's not going to do that, but I will.
Nessel, who has made her first term about consumer protections, clergy abuse investigations, and occasionally letting her opinions fly on social media, has a record to tout and defend.
I personally argued the case of Rauschworld v. Michigan Department of Civil Rights, which, because of that case, at long last, no one in the state of Michigan can be fired for being gay or bisexual or transgender.
You do have some critics over the last 4 years, specifically not getting convictions in the Flint water case.
I assigned some of the best prosecutors I know, including Prosecutor Kim Worthy, and restarted the investigation and used a grand jury procedure. And ultimately, of course, that was appealed through the courts.
DePerno has wasted no time accusing Nessel of abusing her office, saying she's soft on crime, and seizing on a comment Nessel made that she says was in jest.
And you have an attorney general right now in this state, Dana Nessel, who says she wants to put a drag queen in every school, and you're allowing it to happen.
But DePerno's candidacy is clouded with allegations of misconduct, currently at the Michigan Attorney Grievance Commission. He's also the subject of an ongoing criminal investigation into potential charges of tampering with voting equipment. Nessel has requested a special prosecutor to look into that. DePerno denies the misconduct. He instead, according to his campaign, pledges to defend Michigan's 1931 abortion ban and protect parents' ability to have a say in curriculum.
The fundamental rights of the parents is a huge issue right now in this country and across this state.
The latest Detroit News WDIV poll shows the race within 1 point, Nessel 44% to DePerno 43%, making this last weekend of campaigning for both candidates critical.
And we requested sit-down, in-depth interviews with both candidates so they could answer similar questions about how they approach the job as AG. Nessel's team responded. Mr. DePerno's team canceled our interview and did not reschedule. Kimberly, back to you.
Okay, Christy, thank you. And everything you need to prepare for Election Day is in our clickondetroit.com voter guide. It has information on the local races, ballot proposals, and so much more. You can find it on the elections page.